Anyone who knows me will know that I love to learn new things. A couple of weeks ago I learned a new word, and I'm almost embarrassed to admit that I didn't know it, since when you learn the meaning of the word, if you don't know it already, you will see that it is clearly a motive for murder that is right up there with revenge and money or greed. This word is limerence. Its meaning, which I'll also put up on the screen for all of you visual learners out there, is defined as a state of mind which results from romantic feelings for another person, and typically includes intrusive, melancholic thoughts or tragic concerns for the object of one's affection, as well as a desire to form or maintain a relationship with the object of love and to have one's feelings reciprocated. I'll discuss this a little more later, but in simple terms, it is unrequited love that can quickly become an unhealthy obsession. So anyone who has ever dipped a toe into the true crime pool will see how this can escalate to deadly consequences. In today's case, we see this in action and results in the death of a beautiful woman through no fault of her own. This is the tragic murder of Kendra Hatcher, and this is Murder of Crows, isn't it? Yes, it is. Limerence is a state of involuntary obsession with another person. The experience of limerence is based on the uncertainty that the person you desire, called the limerent object, also desires you. Since limerence is the desire to be desired, it is a cognitive as well as physical and emotional experience. As the focus of limerence is whether or not the object of desire reciprocates the feelings, rather than actually falling in love with the person. And it is almost always one-sided. The experience of limerence can include obsessional thinking about the object of one's limerent desire, an irrationally positive evaluation of that person's attributes, and a longing for reciprocation. Limerence can make a person feel ecstatic, their mental life focused on a passionate, anxious desire. It can also result in a state of agony if and when the feelings are not reciprocated. This sort of overwhelming and overarching maelstrom of feelings can very easily become malevolent, especially directed towards anything or anyone that can be considered an obstacle to the happily ever after the person is looking for. Today we see this in action, and by way of backstory for context, we need to look at the life of Kendra Hatcher. Kendra Hatcher was born on the 3rd of February 1980 to Reagan Hatcher and Bonnie Gibson Jameson Corley. Easy for you to say. Kendra had 4 siblings: Jamie, Ashley, Melissa and Neil. She was born in Springfield, Illinois, which is actually the state capital of Illinois, and it isn't, as many people think, Chicago. Don't say I don't give you extra value. I'm just the gift that keeps giving. By 2010, she was a dentist, and her first marriage had collapsed and ended in divorce. But she loved her work and loved children, as shown by the love she would shower on her nieces and nephews. So it was a great fit for her that she specialized in being a pediatric dentist. She moved to Dallas, Texas, which isn't the state capital of Texas, by the way. That would be Austin. And she began work at a dental practice called Smile Zone, where she continued her specialty as a pediatric dentist. By 2015, love would come calling again, when she met Dr. Ricardo Paniagua, known to all around him as Ricky. And he was completing a dermatology residency at Texas University Southwestern Medical Center. Well, Ricky and Kendra hit it off immediately, and they seemed to complement each other. They fit so well, in fact, that after just a few months of dating, they had already been talking about marriage. In the summer of 2015, they excitedly planned a getaway to Cancun for the Labor Day holiday. Things were looking bright for the beautiful 35-year-old dentist and her handsome doctor boyfriend, the bastard. Anywho, it seemed like the fresh start that Kendra had come to Dallas for was finally blossoming. But we're here, aren't we? So it's not going to end well, is it? That life would come to a screeching halt on September the 2nd, 2015, which was just one day before she and Ricky were meant to be going to Cancun. Things went awry in a nondescript parking garage attached to the building where Kendra lived. A witness who was in the parking garage at Gables Park 17 said, "You heard screaming. It was pure fear. And then I heard pop, pop." And the witness then saw a Jeep Cherokee speeding out of the garage. Once it seemed safe, he got in his car and left, with him saying, "As I was going out the ramp, I could see her body." And then as soon as he felt he was a safe distance away, he called 911 and reported the shooting. First responders rushed to the scene, but were unable to save the victim, who was subsequently identified as Kendra Hatcher. Bullet shards and a handgun magazine were found on the ground near Kendra's body. Her purse was missing, but her mobile phone was left behind. But even though the murder showed signs and hallmarks of a robbery gone wrong, the manner of the shooting actually suggested an execution, where it was later found that the entry wound came from the upper part of the head and exited through the chin. And gunshot residue suggested her hands were up and behind her head at the time she was shot. Security cameras at Gables Park 17 showed a black Jeep Grand Cherokee arrive at 7:15 p.m, which was before the murder occurred. Detective Eric Barnes said at a later time, somewhere around 7:42, the victim, Kendra Hatcher, pulls into the parking garage. There was no doubt that the individual was waiting for Dr. Hatcher. As soon as she pulled in, he began making his move. In the footage from security cameras, the shooter is seen walking towards Hatcher's car, then returning to the Jeep, which leaves the premises clearly in a hurry. The driver was a woman who was caught on the security camera, and images of the car and the driver were released to the media the following day in hopes of identifying them. In addition, the Jeep had faded or peeled patches on its bonnet, making it quite distinctive, so they were hopeful of tracking down the vehicle because it looked much more unique. 2 days later, Jose Luis Ortiz contacted investigators, saying that it was his car on the security camera footage. But he insisted he had nothing to do with it, and claimed that on the day of the murder, he had loaned his Jeep to a friend called Brenda Delgado. When the murder occurred, he and Delgado were having dinner together at a Chili's restaurant. So obviously the police wanted to speak to Brenda Delgado at this point. Brenda Delgado was duly brought in for questioning and was asked about the murder of Kendra Hatcher. Delgado claimed not to know who Kendra Hatcher was. When asked about her whereabouts on the night of the murder, Delgado conveniently produced the dinner receipt from the Chili's restaurant.
Detective Barnes, where is this conversation taking place?
It's inside the Dallas Police Headquarters Homicide Unit in Room 2.
Is there anyone else in the room besides you and Ms. Delgado?
No, it's just us two.
Yeah, they'll be fine. I don't think yeah, they do keep it going. You want some?
Oh, of course. Sorry.
Like I said, I appreciate you coming down to talk to me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I'm working. Of course, I'm working on murder investigation.
Yes.
That lady was killed on Wednesday, and I'm the guy that's assigned to the case. Your name came up in the investigation, so I wanted to sit down and talk with you, kind of figure out what's going on and get your version of the events. One of the things that I do as a detective, I know you've never been here before. At least I don't think you have.
No.
Okay. So you're probably a little nervous. You don't have to worry about. I'm not going to be yelling and slapping my hand on the table and any of that kind of stuff. That's not my style. The way that I work, I like to believe what people are telling me. I know sometimes when you're nervous, things may slip your mind, or you may get a little hurried and say things a little different. It's cool. Okay, I can understand those things because this is an intense situation for a lot of people. I'm about as laid back as it gets. Okay, so if it's something I'm asking you, if you don't understand what I'm saying, or if I'm talking too fast, or whatever it is, just ask me to repeat myself.
Can I, how did my name come up?
Okay, I'll I'll explain all of that to you.
Yes, I want to know.
But I want to get, before I do that, I have an administrative thing that I have to do. This is a personal information sheet, and it just documents who I'm talking to. And it's a way for me to get to know you a little bit before we get into this. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right. If you wow, yeah, I'm the oldest in my family too.
You too?
So I know I don't have two brothers.
Okay.
Yeah, no girls. It's all boys. So when you say I know how boys are, we got holes that. I still go to my mom's house now. There's holes in the walls, and I hear stories about pictures and stuff getting broke all the time. So,
I grew up with a pretty, not even protector, because I was the one protecting them since they were younger, but
okay.
very close family.
Okay. Well, like I said, the way that I like to do things. I always try to. I give people the benefit of the doubt. That's my thing. Because I know that if I was in this situation, it's stressful enough just coming to a police station. Yeah. And then you mix in the whole thing with murder investigation and those kind of things. So I don't want to create any anxiety for you, okay? So the way that I do things, if there's something that I'm saying, like I said, if you don't understand what I'm saying, slow me down, I'll repeat it. I'll do the same thing for you. I'm not going to yell and talk over you like the movies, because you're an adult, and I'm going to respect you as an adult. And so I'm never going to cut you off and talk over you.
Okay.
And I ask that you don't do the same. We'll have to understand about it. Stop me if I'm reading too fast. Slow me down. I just want to make sure that I don't do anything to make you feel uncomfortable, okay?
Okay.
All right. You have the right to remain silent, not make any statement at all. Any statement you make may be used against you at your trial. Any statement you make may be used as evidence against you in court. You have the right to have a lawyer present to advise you prior to and during any questioning. If you're unable to employ a lawyer, you have the right to have a lawyer appointed to advise you prior to and during any questioning. And you have the right to terminate this interview at any time. Do you understand that?
I understand.
Okay. Or you want to talk about why?
I do.
Okay. One of the things that I wanted to talk to you about, a young lady was killed. Kendra Hatcher was killed on Wednesday, September 2nd. Okay. She was dating, I think, a guy that you used to date. The way that your name came up in the investigation was linked to the vehicle. Okay, the Jeep, black Jeep. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit specifically about Wednesday, what you were doing Wednesday, and the incident involving the Jeep.
Of course.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Wednesday, I was in Carrollton,
Okay.
and I studied from maybe 12 all the way to like about 6. And then from 6 we went to Fuzzy's. We had some tacos at Fuzzy's in Carrollton.
Mm-hmm.
And then from Carrollton we went to the Chili's off of George Bush.
Okay.
And that was my day on Wednesday.
When asked about the Jeep that she had borrowed, her response was, "I gave it to my friend, Crystal." Now, Crystal was Crystal Cortez, who was a 23-year-old single mother. And she was brought in for questioning and admitted to driving the getaway car on the night of the murder. She claimed she had been with her son when she was forced to drive to the crime scene by an armed carjacker. Cortez alleged that the gunman jumped out of the car and she then heard gunshots. The shooter got back into the car and asked to be driven to another part of Dallas, where he promptly ran off. However, surveillance footage showed that her son wasn't in the vehicle at the time of the shooting. And just as importantly, She did not try to drive away when the gunman left the car. When confronted with these inconsistencies, Cortez obviously changed her story. Cortez now claimed that she willingly drove the gunman, but didn't know that he was going to shoot Kendra. She claimed it was only supposed to be a robbery, with her saying, "He was just going to jack her. That's it. I don't know this dude." And that's what Cortez said in her police interrogation. When asked why she aided in the robbery, she claimed it was Brenda Delgado's idea. When asked why Delgado would arrange the robbery of Kendra, Cortez told detectives, and here we have the key to the whole thing, Cortez said, "I think that they were going back and forth between the same guy." Detectives learned that Brenda Delgado had dated Ricky Paniagua on and off from 2012 until the beginning of 2015. They had lived together for a time, and she had even gotten pregnant by him, although she later apparently had an abortion. Through social media postings and by hacking Paniagua's email, as you do, Delgado cyberstalked both her ex and his new girlfriend. And here we see the dangers of limerence, when unrequited love becomes obsession. Cortez claimed that Brenda Delgado offered her $500 to steal Kendra's purse. On Cortez's phone, detectives found a photo taken on the day after the murder, with $500 in bills folded into the shape of a heart. She admitted that Brenda paid her to be the getaway driver, so police had enough to arrest her that night for murder. But the police didn't have enough evidence to put Brenda Delgado into custody. And the only thing that they had to work with was an unpaid traffic ticket. And they duly arrested her for the unpaid traffic ticket. Not exactly a big deal, but at least it let them keep hold of her.
Rhys. But yesterday I saw Rhys.
Okay, where'd you see him at?
He's at his house.
At his house, what time was that?
Maybe around 10.
What 10? What did you guys talk about?
I just told him about my car if he can fix it. He has my Lexus right now.
Mm-hmm. So you asked him if he could fix your Lexus?
Yes.
Okay, and what happened?
He took it.
He took you? And where did you go?
Home. He dropped me.
He dropped you off?
Mm-hmm.
With what?
With my car.
With your car?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he go by his shop at all? Did you guys go by his shop?
His shop. No, we didn't go by his shop that day. Only to drop off? Yeah. No, we just went to the house. We went to my house.
You went to your house?
I went to my house.
He's telling that day when you talked to Crystal, what did she tell you? Because I know that you didn't just take that as, you were looking for a parking space and that's it.
She said that she had her son with her and that she was going to get some food at Meso and that she was in that location.
But don't you think it's a little strange though that your ex-boyfriend's?
I had no, like I told you, I had.
But you saw it on Facebook. You said you saw it in your news feed the next day, and that he texted you and said, "Hey, my."
The next day, that's when I found out. Like until the next day.
So he messaged you and said, "Hey."
And I didn't know like where she lived. You know, like
right.
I had no idea.
Well, here's the thing. So when he tells you, "Hey, my girlfriend was killed," because he told you that, right?
No.
You said he messaged you.
He just said like that he was sad and that his girlfriend. He said
girlfriend got killed.
No, he said his girlfriend died or something like that.
And you didn't ask why or what happened?
Yeah, I the next day he said he didn't know.
He said he didn't know what happened to her.
He didn't talk about it.
But you never asked. You never asked what happened to your girlfriend.
Yeah, he never. Yeah, I asked. I said what happened. He didn't really talk about it.
Are you and him friends on Facebook?
No.
You guys have never been friends on Facebook?
We were when we were dating.
You were when you dated. Have you been to his page since you guys have broken up? Has your Facebook profile visited his Facebook profile?
Yeah, briefly, but
briefly. When was the last time you
maybe
went to his Facebook
maybe
page?
Like 2 months ago.
2 months ago. And his profile picture is a picture of him and his fiance, right?
When I don't know when this is.
Monday. What was that?
On Monday?
Yes.
This Monday?
Yes, this Monday. What's your phone service?
Oh, I took over the line that we were together. We were
sharing lines.
We were sharing lines, and I took over the line.
Okay.
I just switched over the line from under my name.
You switched the line from under your name to another.
To my account, yeah.
To your account. Okay. Why did you guys? What took so long that you guys changed your accounts?
Just timing, like just one thing or another, one thing or another. He was busy, I was busy.
Okay. So what do you mean, like? Did you have to go in the store to do it, or you can't do that over the phone?
Yeah, we just did it on the phone. Like he authorized to release the line, and then I took over.
Right. And so when did that took place? Monday, right?
Yeah, it took Monday.
Okay. How did that make you feel?
Okay. I mean, I was okay with that. I was okay with switching lines.
You were?
Yeah.
So why did it happen sooner? You guys broke up?
I think maybe because I was in school and he was just kind of helping, like.
Was he paying the bill?
He was helping, like, to kind of help with while I was in school.
Okay.
And I just got done with school maybe like 2 weeks ago.
Okay, but you're still looking for. You haven't had a job yet, right?
I mean, I have savings. That's why I've been paying like rent and everything else.
Okay. Able to say yes, this is the person that I saw driving this Jeep. All of these things are happening for a reason. This is not some science that we're, this is a scientific equation. There's a method to everything that we do at this job. And I'm telling you, it is very important for me to get to the story that what happened on this. And I'm going to find out the story. Okay? And I just want you to be completely honest with me.
Like I said, it was, the time framing was like in Carrollton, I was studying, and Crystal had the car, and that's...
Okay, so Crystal has this car. Okay. Was anybody with Crystal when she had this car?
She was with her kid.
Who else?
That's it.
No, because there was another adult in this car.
She told me she was with her kid. That's
Well, I'm telling you that there was another adult in this car.
Yeah, she didn't tell me that. She told me that she was with her kid.
Okay. Well, who would this other adult be?
Maybe another friend. I don't know.
I mean, you tell me. Who do you think would be with her at this time? She didn't tell you?
No, she didn't. She just told me she was with her son.
So, when you found out, when did you find out that this young lady was dating Richard?
He just kind of said I'm seeing people, but he didn't tell me who he was seeing.
No, when did you find out that his girlfriend was the one that was killed?
Oh,
It's been on the news.
Yesterday morning.
From who?
From just the news feed, and then he just kind of...
What did you find? The news feed. What did the news feed say that made you know that was his girlfriend?
No, I didn't know that was his girlfriend until I talked to him. Like, he just kind of said, like, this is what happened.
And so, did you say, well, maybe my friend who is in the news on this picture with this car, maybe she knows what happened, maybe she saw something, maybe she should talk to police, maybe she can help you find out who killed your girlfriend? Did you mention any of those things?
I didn't. I mean, I just didn't really think about it, you know.
You didn't think about it. So somebody that you know, somebody close to you, you didn't say, hey, I know somebody that was there. One of my friends were there. One of my friends, she may not talk to the police, but she will talk to you about what she saw. Did you pick up the phone and say, hey, that girl that died there, that you were in the same parking garage with, driving my friend's truck, you didn't say, hey, you know, maybe you saw something that might help my friend out, that was my ex-boyfriend's girlfriend? You didn't say anything to?
I mean, she didn't say anything about, you know, that. Like, that's all she told me.
I mean, but you didn't call her to try to confirm, you know, did you see anything? Did you hear anything?
She said no. I mean, I said,
so you did ask her?
Yeah, I asked Crystal, but she said no.
What did you say?
I said, what happened? Like, you know, this is the story that it's, you know, the next day.
Well, you know what's funny about her not knowing, hearing, seeing anything is that there was a car in front of her that saw it. There was a car in front of that car that heard it, and she didn't hear anything. She didn't see anything.
She said she just turned back around and she went in and she turned back around and she left. That's all she said.
But there was a lot of people in that parking garage that heard it. There was even people in the parking garage next door. There's people in the parking lot across the street going to a restaurant that heard the gunshot.
Cortez said that the shooter's name was Lamar and that he drove a blue Chrysler Sebring, and she willingly handed over this man's phone number. And while the name was determined to be fake, the number was registered to a Dallas address which had a blue Sebring parked out front. The car belonged to 31-year-old Christopher Love, Christopher with a K, obviously. On September the 30th, 2015, Love was arrested on an outstanding warrant from Memphis, Tennessee. And inside his car, authorities found a gun in a side compartment. Ballistic tests revealed it was the gun used to shoot Kendra Hatcher. Well, poopy, what a good place to leave a murder gun. Love's motive for being the shooter was good old-fashioned greed. Love told the detectives that Delgado said she was connected to Mexico's infamous drug cartels. She promised to pay him in both drugs and money. Christopher Love was arrested and charged with capital murder. In October 2018, he was found guilty and sentenced to death.
All new at 4 o'clock now, a death sentence for a convicted hitman. The same jury who convicted Christopher Love of murdering Kendra Hatcher last week sentenced him to death just over an hour ago. Our Robbie Owens has been covering the trial from the beginning. She's live now at the Crowley Courthouse with the family's victim impact statements. Robbie?
Well, Ken, it was tense but silent as that death sentence was announced. The emotion that for the most part had been held in check, well, now it was about to overflow. Kendra Hatcher's brother, sister, and mother all took the stand to address Christopher Love directly, with the mother making a point to thank the jury for their service.
I can only imagine how hard this has been for you to be away from your family. And here it is, a holiday. And those of you with the little ones want to be home with your kids. And I just want to go home and give them a hug.
words like that.
Now, how we got here during 2+ hours of closing arguments in the punishment phase, attorneys on both sides presented impassioned arguments. Defense attorneys told the jury that the law is not about revenge, with Paul Johnson even admitting at one point, quote, Christopher Love did an evil deed against an innocent victim. He asked the jury to allow him to die in the penitentiary. Prosecutors, however, argued that Love would be a continuing threat in prison and would be a, quote, go-to person for other prisoners looking to settle scores, having already shown that he will kill for compensation. And then Kendra Hatcher's mother seized on that when she addressed him following the sentencing.
Your life, Mr. Executioner, will end peacefully, unlike my daughter's. Dr. Hatcher. $500 and drugs? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Do you know what she would have given you to save her life? What I would have given you? What our family would have given?
That emotion evident on both sides of the courtroom. Although the judge had admonished everyone to remain silent, I saw Christopher Love's mother bury her face in her hands and quietly sob before rushing from the courtroom. I spoke with them briefly afterwards, and Christopher Love's father was also in tears and asked that I convey to the family of Kendra Hatcher just how sorry they were, and this family too struggling, that a family that produced a police officer also now has produced a convicted killer who will die on death row. I'll have more for you coming up at 5. Reporting live from the Frank Crowley Courthouse in Dallas, Robbie Owens, CBS 11 News.
Brenda Delgado made bail on September the 5th, 2015. Quite why she was offered an achievable bail amount is beyond me. But make bail she did. And guess what she did next? Yes, that's right, she bucked it out of there. There was a Brenda Delgado shaped blur where she had been standing. She boarded a bus and fled the country. She was put on the FBI's 10 most wanted list, and a $100,000 reward was offered for information leading to her arrest. She was caught in April of 2016 in Torreon, Coahuila. No, I got no idea if that was even right. Mexico stipulated that she wouldn't face the death penalty as part of her extradition agreement. And apologies to anyone Spanish or Mexican for absolutely butchering the thing I just said. Crystal Cortez pleaded guilty to murder and agreed to testify against Love and Delgado in exchange for a 35-year prison sentence. With her saying during the investigation, probably 2 weeks after I met Brenda, we started planning this murder. And she repeated that at the murder trial that year.
With binoculars and secret stalking on social media, a convicted murderer offered a chilling account of how she and her best friend plotted the murder of Dallas dentist Kendra Hatcher. CBS 11's JD Miles joins us with what else the jury heard during day 2 in the murder for hire trial. JD?
Gilma, Brenda Delgado was accused of using her best friend to carry out a murder. Today, that friend, who's in prison, says Delgado belongs there too.
It's a photo of the cash. Crystal Cortez says she was paid to help plan and carry out the murder of Kendra Hatcher, a woman she never met.
I got $500.
And who paid you?
Brenda did.
Brenda Delgado is who Cortez says wanted Hatcher dead because the Dallas dentist was dating Delgado's ex-boyfriend.
She wanted to get rid of Kendra Hatcher because she was envious of her.
Prosecutors showed the jury binoculars that Cortez testified she and Delgado used to spy on Hatcher across the street from her dental office in the days before the 2015 murder. Cortez admitted from the witness stand that she was behind the wheel of the getaway car when hitman Christopher Love shot and killed Hatcher after the victim arrived inside the parking garage of her uptown apartment.
Is that the Jeep you were driving that day?
Yes.
Is that you in that driver's seat?
Yes.
Delgado is on trial for capital murder. Her attorneys called Cortez a liar who planned a robbery of Hatcher herself and implicated her friend to avoid a death sentence.
As you get hopelessly caught in one lie, you start telling another one, correct?
Sometimes.
Earlier, a friend of Delgado's testified he loaned her the SUV captured by a security camera leaving the crime scene.
I give her a comment like, hey, have you heard about that dentist that got shot in Uptown Dallas? She'd say no. She'd say, well, how funny, because I mean it looks very similar to mine. I'm over here lending you my car, and then a day later I find out it's in the news. It looks very similar.
Cortez was given a 35-year sentence in exchange for her testimony against Delgado and against Christopher Love, who has been sent to death row. Testimony is concluded for the day and will continue tomorrow. Live in Dallas, J.D. Miles, CBS 11 News.
After deliberating for just 30 minutes, a jury found Brenda Delgado guilty of capital murder on June the 7th, 2019.
Brenda Delgado, the mastermind in the murder-for-hire plot targeting a Dallas dentist, today convicted of capital murder. Delgado hired a hitman to kill her ex-boyfriend's new love interest, Dr. Kendra Hatcher, in an uptown parking garage. Robbie Owens, live at the Crowley Courthouse. Horrible chapter, clearly, that is finally over for a grieving family, Robbie.
Yes, indeed, Doug. And you know, this is the second trial that the Hatcher family has had to endure. The hitman, Christopher Love, is already on death row. The question today, would jurors hold the woman responsible who put the whole awful plan into place? And that answer came with lightning speed.
She stole from me, she stole from all of us. Find her guilty, because she is guilty.
And jurors took less than 20 minutes to oblige. Prosecutors today somewhat surprised, but extremely pleased.
We're just glad the right thing happened.
Brenda Delgado, convicted of capital murder, although she never fired a shot. Prosecutors convinced jurors that she hired a hitman to kill her ex-boyfriend's new love interest, dentist Kendra Hatcher, for $500 and drugs.
The jury's spoken. Obviously, we respect the decision of any jury, and we'll do what we need to do now going forward.
But first,
you can't even look at me.
Delgado refused to lift her eyes, but was forced to listen as Dr. Hatcher's sister confronted her from the witness stand.
No matter how envious you were of any human being, it does not give you the right to destroy lives, many lives, your own family's lives, our lives, Kendra's lives, my children's lives. Who the hell do you think you are, Brenda?
And then from Hatcher's mother.
You, Brenda Delgado, have earned your spot on this earth behind cold steel bars for the rest of your miserable, pathetic life.
Brenda Delgado, already sentenced to life in prison, no possibility of parole. Her defense attorneys, though, do plan to appeal. Live at the Crowley Courthouse in Dallas, Robbie Owens, CBS 11 News.
And the case moved immediately to victim impact statements, where Kendra's mother, Bonnie Jameson, and Kendra's sister gave emotional statements condemning Delgado for her crime. You, Brenda Delgado, have earned your spot here on this earth behind cold steel bars for the rest of your miserable, pathetic life. These are the words of Kendra's mother, and she continued by saying, and if justice could have handed you a death sentence, make no mistake, I would have been there front and centre. Kendra's sister echoed her mother's sentiments, telling Delgado pointedly, "I hope you rot in hell." Through her tears, Kendra's sister expressed how much the murder impacted so many other people. And she continued by saying, "Brenda, you're disgusting. Who the hell do you think you are? You will go down in history as one of the most hated women in Dallas, maybe even in America." Upon her conviction, she was automatically sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, as per the terms of the extradition agreement which prevented her from getting the death penalty. And there we have a case study of limerence in action. A woman poisoned by her obsession with her ex-boyfriend, and this woman pulled her friend into her malevolent planning and then recruited a willing hitman who was prepared to kill for money and drugs. Underneath it all was jealousy, because another woman had what she couldn't have. Kendra Hatcher was just 35 years old and planning a new chapter of her life with Ricky. She was beautiful, and when she fell for Ricky, she had no way of knowing the poison that was following him and then pervading her own life. In this situation, she was a true innocent. And even worse, she thought she'd found her happily ever after. But her life was cut short by a woman who couldn't get hers. This video is of course dedicated to the woman who, having chosen a career as a dentist for children, was compassionate, empathetic, and very loving. I truly hope that she is at peace and that her very loving family have found ways to cope with this devastating loss. Thank you for watching Murder of Crows. I now have a membership option if you want to support my particular brand of storytelling, but no one is under any obligation whatsoever to do so. I will be giving shout outs in my own inimitable style, as well as creating member only videos, and if there is a call for it, doing live Q&As. Though I promise you, I'm really not that interesting. But with that said, I'm Steve, that's Samson, and we will see you when we see you.